Welcome to Moment of Clarity. Stay tuned at the end of this video for instructions on how to win a copy of my new book. But let's get started. Information has leaked out on possible executive orders coming from Bernie Sanders if he were to get in the presidency. Now, these have not been confirmed, but it seems to me that the Sanders campaign probably wanted to or was fine with these being leaked out. I'm going to go through a bunch of them and show what a Sanders presidency would involve in terms of executive orders, meaning these could be done without Congress getting in the way, which we've seen from Donald Trump. He does fucking everything with executive order. The only thing he goes to Congress for is billions and billions and billions of dollars of military spending. Congress all get together and they sing Kumbaya and they do a little fucking naked dance around the maypole to celebrate all the money they can give Donald Trump to commit war around the world. But outside of that, Donald Trump does a lot of his shit with executive order. So here's the list coming out. It's been reported by the Washington Post. It's been reported, apparently anonymous sources at the Sanders campaign have confirmed. These are the executive orders being considered by Bernie Sanders. Number 1, declare a national emergency concerning climate change. What a shock. I mean, of course, any sane president would do that. To not declare a climate emergency is fucking crazy. It's more insane than a long-tailed cat hanging out in a room full of rocking chairs. Number 2, ban U.S. exports of crude oil. This is crucial. In order to do anything about climate change, we have to stop exporting oil. We have to stop drilling for it. The more they invest in the infrastructure of crude oil, of fossil fuels, the more they will want to use them. The banks and the big oil companies will want to make that money back. And while this seems like common sense, there are not many politicians putting this idea forward. In fact, Joe Biden was recently confronted by a friend of mine named Ed Fallon in Iowa. And all Ed said to him was, listen, we really need to stop putting in these oil pipelines, these pipeline infrastructure. And Joe Biden's response was,
if you win the nomination, we got to get rid of Trump. But what are we going to do about climate change? Now, you say you're against pipelines, but then you want to replace these gas lines. That's not going to work. We got to stop building and replacing pipelines. You got to go vote for somebody else.
Go vote for somebody else. That's it, isn't it? Go vote for somebody else. Number 3, import prescription drugs from Canada. Another no-brainer. We have an insane medical care system, an insane big pharma system, largest big pharma companies in the world, and they want to make money. They want to make as much money as possible. They want to gouge us in order to fucking bring in billions of dollars. The sicker we are, the more we need prescription drugs, the better it is for them. So having a system where we can't import cheap drugs from Canada is just a giant giveaway to big pharma. And the big pharma companies, by the way, they get a lot of their pharmaceuticals from research that is done with taxpayer money. They then find ways to exploit that and make money off that. So really, it's taxpayer money that creates it before it's then used by massive corporations to screw all of us. Number 4, cancel federal contracts for companies that are paying their workers less than $15 an hour. Does that not make sense? I mean, yeah, you can't get a minimum wage higher than $7.25 through our goddamn Congress because they love it when people are poor and exploited, and that's all good for Congress. But if you had a true progressive, such as Bernie Sanders in the White House, with a swipe of a pen, they could stop giving federal contracts to companies that pay less than $15 an hour. And all of a sudden, you'd have competition for those federal contracts. You'd have companies that want to pay $15 an hour so that they can get those contracts. Right now, the minimum wage that our Congress will actually approve is less than a fucking 4-year-old makes at a lemonade stand. Next up, direct the Department of Justice to legalize marijuana at the federal level. Many states across the United States have already legalized marijuana or medicinal marijuana, and are they melting down? Is shit just going to hell in Colorado? Are they all just sitting there eating buckets of nachos, all baked out of their minds, just spending all day working on the ass grooves in their couch cushions? No! I mean, yes, but not any more so than your average United state. We have proven that legalizing marijuana does not harm people, but in fact helps a lot of people, because you aren't locking everyone up for nothing crimes, for having a little piece of a plant rolled in a little piece of a paper. Next up, reverse existing laws that bar the U.S. from funding organizations that provide abortions. Again, guess what, folks? A woman's right to choose is still, at least for the moment, a law in this country. They do have that right, so we should not inhibit it. Oh, and by the way, new study just came out. 99% of women who have to make that tough choice then decide that they're glad they made it, that it was not, that they do not regret it. 99%. Can you imagine 99%? You can't get 99% of people to not regret whitening their teeth or having extra earwax taken out of their ears. You'd still only get, 92. Number 7, lift the cap on the number of refugees the United States will accept each year. Refugees are called refugees for a reason. All right? These are people that need help. These are people that are desperate. Isn't that the whole point of the whole United States? Send us, so you're weak, you're tired, you're huddled, man. We were supposed to be the saving grace of people around the world who needed to go somewhere, who needed help. Not to mention, a lot of these refugees are coming here because of us. Because we've destroyed their country, because we created a goddamn coup in a Latin American country and put in a dictator. So we create these problems, and then we go, no, don't come here, we don't want to help you, all right? You don't have to go home, you can't stay here. Number 8, release the billions in aid for Puerto Rican people that Donald Trump has held up. Billions of dollars in aid for the Puerto Rican people who have been crushed in every way. They've had hurricanes. They've had an endless spree of earthquakes. But of course, they've really been gutted by vulture capitalists who went in there and ripped the place apart. They privatized everything they could. They grabbed up all the land they could. And we won't send aid there? The billions that would do everything to help the Puerto Rican people is nothing compared to our military budget. It is nothing. The stated military budget annually is $738 billion. Yeah, we can't really help that Puerto Rico kid. Yeah, can't really get some bottled water down there. I'm sorry, we're just a little tight. I don't have any cash on me. Let me just check. Yeah, no, nothing. And finally, Bernie Sanders is considering the executive action to immediately halt Donald Trump's big, stupid, look, I can see my penis from space border wall. I mean, let's be honest. Walls are stupid, nationalistic garbage. It is a mind fart that we even think that this is a good idea. Deer cross border all day long. Are we running around going, oh my God, there's Mexican deer in the country? They came here from down in Mexico. They come here. They don't get a job. Borders are stupid, barbaric, antiquated idiocy. Anyway, that's the short list of executive actions being considered by Bernie Sanders, according to leaked sources and anonymous sources. True or not, those all make sense to me. Of course, there's plenty of executive actions that are not on the list that I really think should be. Politicians should wear the labels of each corporation that funds them on the outside of their clothing at all times, maybe tattooed on their skin, and then they have to walk around shirtless. I'd be all for that. Okay, that's your moment of clarity. Please, if you think that's important, if you think these topics are important, please share this around. Click subscribe, click the bell next to it. And also, if you leave a comment for this video, we will be giving away one free copy of my new book, Bullet Points and Punchlines, to someone who leaves a comment under this video. And we'll announce the winner next week. So you can also check out the book at leecampbook.com. All right, keep fighting.